Hello, everyone.
Welcome.
Welcome to the now sanctioned Paranormal Police Department. Welcome to Haunted. I almost said Haunted Faith because that's how I do my intro on YouTube.
Haunted
Welcome,
Casket, Trevor. Haunted
yes.
Casket.
Welcome to episode 2 of Haunted Casket and the Paranormal Police Department, or vinyl siding, or
Jesus,
or social media campaigning, or if you need a quote about some random house you want to buy, then don't hit up Aaron Paul.
Don't do that.
Dude, I had no idea when I grabbed that picture of you that Rob was going to take it and run with it the way he did.
So
Yeah.
You must have given him a great week because he had a lot of fun.
He looked like he was having a blast
Josh.
with it.
What's up, Josh? So for those of you who don't know, I guess unofficially now I'm in charge of making the thumbnail and creating the event for the stream, and starting the promotion is, I guess, Bill's job with creating like the graphics and stuff, right? That's how it went, at least in this past week. And he did a great job on the graphic. It looked pretty clean, looked pretty straightforward, had some creepy vibes, right? And so, and I didn't really notice that like the picture was like older. I just saw Aaron Palmer on the graphic while I was at work. I'm like, cool, he did a good job. Cool, locked my phone. Half an hour later, I see him comment, "Why'd you choose an old picture?" And then all of a sudden, Aaron got like 5 different new jobs.
Yeah, apparently I was installing siding and doing referrals for social media. So Rob had a blast with that. I don't know what he was on the other day, but
So Aaron's a
it was
hipster now.
stuff.
All right, so
Aaron's a hipster.
I guess I should tell you why I chose an old photo.
Oh,
I was going through your Facebook page looking for a picture of you, and every single one of them that actually like showed you not making a stupid face had your head cut off, like the top of your head was cut
I
off.
don't do pictures of me, man. I'm not kind of conceited like that, you know.
Yeah, so I had to go back like 6-7 years to find a half decent picture of you.
6.5 years, almost 7 years, because that was the announcement for my son.
like the birth of your child.
Yes, my oldest, my son.
Well, I don't know what happened to your shoulder then, but like your left shoulder was cut off for some reason. But bad joke. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. He grew it back.
I did. I got better.
Yeah.
I've had to throw in some left fade in Photoshop and I brought you back to life, or maybe I just made it look like I was exhuming you from the darkness.
What are you gripping me tight and raising me from perdition over here? What is this?
I'm not sure what that is, but I'm down for anything once.
He clearly has not watched Supernatural.
He has not.
Oh, I've never watched a single episode. Actually, I take that back. There couldn't tell you what episode it is. A friend of mine years ago, me and him were on some topic of paranormal something. We were on the topic. This was like 20. I was going into college, so 2015, 2016, and we were on the topic of, do real demons have wings? I don't know what the context was, and we were talking about this for like 10, 20 minutes, and he goes, "Yeah, dude, like at the end of the conversation, yeah, dude, they 100% have wings, blah, blah, blah." Like, show me proof. Never seen the show once again. Showed me a clip of this dude hunting a demon. I'm like, I was gullible. I was very uneducated.
Was gullible?
Was, yes. If I'm gullible now, it's for the joke. I know how to catch on quick. But at the time, I'm like, there was like this. He explained to me that it was a scene in Supernatural where this one dude was hunting this one guy because he killed this one guy. I don't fucking know. And it was some creepy scene where they run down this cave. This guy was running down this demon. The demon was off in the distance, flying away. I'm like, damn, dude, you're fucking right. 3 years later, my cousin loves Supernatural. And she came across that same clip because she's like, have you ever been to a haunted location with like a long cave corridor? I'm like, you're gonna have to explain to me. Like, I've been to MSP where the corridors are like 10, 20 feet, and then like there's like other ones that are like a mile long. And she showed me that exact same clip. I'm like, I've seen that before. And she goes, well, you probably watched Supernatural. I'm like, that's a TV show. And she goes, yeah, so it's fake. And she goes, duh. I'm like, no, there's a reason I'm asking that. She goes, yes, it's fake. I'm like, this motherfucker. Yeah. Yeah.
So, tonight, our very first guest is Aaron Palmer, the chief of paranormal police.
Jeez.
Yes. He is is there a SPD sheriff
the county paranormal
yes the CPS no sorry shit that's fucking not the CPD
paranormal sheriff's office
paranormal yes
PSO
yeah
no so paranormal police got started in a weird way. I had left road work and went to work at a hospital in Duplin County. They have their own police department and stuff like that. And my partner towards the end of it, who then became the sergeant, we got to talking about a lot of things to do with the paranormal because we would constantly see things going on cameras and whatnot and brush it off or whatnot. And so one day, I don't even remember, it was during the lockdowns because the hospital was, I mean, if you weren't sick or being seen,
by lockdown, you mean COVID, right?
Yeah, the COVID stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, if you weren't sick or being seen, you weren't coming into the hospital. They didn't, like, there was no visitors, there was no nothing. So it was pretty calm for the most part. Still had a couple psych patients and stuff like that. So it's not like we were not doing anything, but we weren't constantly going like we normally were. So we got on the topic of it, and he mentioned that he used to do paranormal investigations a while back. And I was like, oh, that's cool. You know, I've always wanted to do something like that. And he was like, why don't we? And thus began the trek down the paranormal world. And he still works at the hospital, but when we started forward with all this, he was like, we need to figure stuff out. We need to come up with a name. We need to come up with this. And it took me like a week to come up with the YouTube, the Facebook, the Instagram, the TikTok, everything. I went ahead and got it for all of these social media so that it wouldn't be taken out from under me. Yeah. Paranormal Police Investigations. And I actually designed this and then had it fully worked out by a gamer tag company. So if you do like professional online gaming, I contacted one of the guys and I told him, hey, this is what we do. This is what we want. I like the style of all of your drawings. Is there any way that we could work together and maybe translate it into this? And within seconds, he emailed me back and was like, I love it. Let's do it. Not a problem. And he sent me like 4 or 5 of them. One had like an all-seeing eye on it, all sorts of stuff. And then this was the one we went with, which you can see right here.
Is the shield in the logo similar to the shield in your local area?
So police shields are weird. It's department specific, not necessarily geographical location specific.
Okay.
The only one that tends to be specific would be like your sheriff's department. They typically always have their 5-pointed star.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Fair enough. As a graphic,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I
didn't so my first shield was the leaf shape.
Canada?
No. Jesus. I can pull up a picture of it.
Or any other state that has a leaf. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, no, the logo came out pretty sick. It's awesome.
That's the leaf shape.
Give it
Okay.
a second.
It's not going to focus because it's a picture.
Okay.
That's the leaf shape where it kind of comes out and then comes down to the point. That was my first and my second badge. You typically see these in like metropolitan areas, but the way the design worked, it just kind of fit into this metro badge more than it fit into the leaf badge.
Okay, quick question. I hear that term being thrown around on all the cop shows and in every city almost. What does metropolitan mean?
Large city.
Okay. One that requires a metro train? Does that have to be?
No, it doesn't require it, but
it's called a metro train because it's in a big city.
Because it's in a metropolis.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Before we continue any further, Bill's I guess the prediction now. Let's go up through all these people and say hi. Kaylee, how's it going? Is that the picture? I think that's the picture that I took. I was the only one taking pictures down in that area. Anyway, unless Bill,
That's from Fair. That's from no. I was sitting next to her when we were doing that.
Okay, yeah, that's from Fairfield. That's 10 minutes later. We got a very creepy outcome.
I don't know anybody yet, other than the Jaws 288 Gaming. That's a buddy of mine. He was
new. He said, "What's up?" I'm like, "Hey, look at a new person." Then he knew the background behind your picture. I'm like, "Oh, you guys are friends." Okay.
Yeah, that's actually we just went and had ice cream because he promised my daughter we could have ice cream.
Nice.
If she cleaned her room.
You didn't get us ice cream.
The fuck, man!
I cooked you dinner.
Shut down the stream.
That's true. You did cook me dinner.
So do you guys live
That's more than Trevor ever did.
Hey, whenever I see you, I will air fry you some pizza rolls because I can't cook for shit. I know how to order Taco Bell and Waffle House, air fry stuff, and I can make a pretty mean hamburger helper.
Why is it
it's
mean?
What's in here that counts, man.
Because it's meaty. I don't know. I'm almost shut up.
As long as you're putting love into your hamburger helper.
Put love? Oh yeah. I mean, I put.
Just stop there. Don't.
Yeah. Just stop. Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Hi, D Hoot. I think you're being a little generous with gents.
Yeah, Bill's not a gent.
He ain't talking to me. He's talking to Bill.
Certainly not talking to Trevor.
Yeah, fuck no. I am a gentleman.
That's creepy. Don't say it like that. Why do you have to say it like that?
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
I had to think about it.
Super gentle.
Okay, now I can. Oh, you do like a popsicle. Okay, next question. Hello, Shadow Seekers Paranormal. How's it going?
What's up, guys?
Sorry, that voice. Damian Smith. How's it going? The Winged Reaper himself, also shown his face to the public eye a couple of days ago. Great stream with Rob and Sarah. Glad you're here. Magnus, did you say that O in a different way since it has a slash through it? I'm curious. Anyway, Magnus Sorensen, let me know if I butchered your last name. Thank you for coming here. I love your hat. I love the old Irish bar-themed hat. I love it. I'm sure there's a official name, but I don't know. Tracy Rizzo, how's it going? Tracy? That's you, isn't it?
That's me.
Yeah.
Old picture. Copy that. Anyway, Bob Burnell, how's it going? And Jaws 288 Gaming, how's it going? Did you get your logo from the same guy who made his logo?
You know what? I don't know. I haven't even spoken to him about where I got the logo, but it's not impossible.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know too many of those companies. Actually, he may have made that himself.
Tell about Damien. All right, so we'll start on. Oh, Bill?
We also got I don't know why it's not showing up on StreamYard, but on Instagram we got Big Cartman 1 and Brent McGlone. So welcome, guys.
Yeah, I don't know why that's. I just looked over and we also have Walt with Ghost on mine and Victoria Schmidt, a very avid goer to MSP. Love her. Yeah. So a quick story about Damien's tattoos, because we're gonna have him on very soon. Whenever the next open spot or after we have on our next guest, like after this, he'll be on very soon after that. But Damien can tell the story about how and why. But the design, this forearm and this one, he has a half of the Ouija board here, half of the Ouija board here, and numbers on them. So if you put his arms like this, it makes a full board.
Well, and then I got the planchette.
So you can rub arms with.
We could rub arms and talk to ghosts.
You can rub arms.
It's like a reverse Constantine thing. Instead of banishing them, you're summoning them.
Yeah.
I can just see them walking around a haunted place, and Damien's like this, and he has his arms just across his, and there's like oddly conjoined twins walking down some creepy fucking hallway. It's like if you are here, rub our flesh and make yourself known.
That video doesn't go viral, nothing will.
Yeah. If soon, Bill and Damien will be rubbing flesh in the paranormal sense, and it's going to be great.
Do you have to say it that way?
So on to the next topic. Great. Damien says, "I'd have to hug you and get a planchette in the middle." I'm sure Bill would find a way. He's a very. Never mind.
Why does that sound so much worse?
Luckily, Tanya's not the jealous type, so we're good.
Fair enough. Yeah, his planchette was on a necklace and is a wolf's tooth. Forgot about that. I didn't forget. I didn't know if you wanted me to say that or not. I don't know. But love, peace, and bacon grease.
What's up,
love.
Angel? How you doing, bud?
So my brain just had a brain fart there. Hi, Angel. How's it going? But yeah. So one quick thing that and it'll be quick because I'm going to be talking about this in a bigger video, but it's more or less a very small let all the audience know / a disclaimer. In this podcast and in the future, and if you see me in person, you won't really tell in the Facebook comments. It's a beautiful cat. I've noticed in the past couple of months that my ADHD is getting like kind of crazy in my head. This is what I was going to call you about last night, Bill. It's getting kind of crazy in my head, and it's affecting a part of my life, and it's just getting to the point where I constantly have headaches and I'm constantly too hyperactive. And a couple of days ago, on 2 occurrences, I had 2 incidents where I just it was bad. Called my mom. She has the same thing, and she said that it gets worse as you get older. So saying that, I cut out caffeine. I'm doing some regimens to help.
Thing.
Yes, I'm stopping.
I've seen Trevor on caffeine.
It's bad.
It's
and I'm not saying like it's bad, like haha. No, like it's annoying. It's bad.
Yes.
It disrupts everything around me in a bad way, and so I'm cutting out the caffeine. I'm going to try meds. They haven't worked in the past. If not, no worries. But I have some daily things I'm going to be doing to keep myself at bay. So what I'm saying is in person or on stream, if you noticed how whenever I'm hyper and excited, I don't show it as much, is because from here on out, as crazy as this may seem, and it may take a little bit to process if you know me well, I from here on out, I'm probably not going to be as hyper and random bullshit speaking person as I usually am. You may see a difference, you may not. I'm sure you will, but it's for a good reason. So back to your regular scheduled programming. So Aaron, question, a general question, just to get this ball on the road. What's your favorite way to investigate? With like a gun or?
So typically, if I'm awake and 10 toes down, I got it on me. But that's got nothing to do with the investigations. I like a bare bones, like using yourself and minimalistic tools. And I don't mean minimalistic in like you're using 1 or 2 tools. I mean things that aren't doing the work for you. Like we're not using infrared spectrum cameras and all this other stuff. a camera to catch things so that I can see what's going on, a voice recorder, and then occasional gizmos and gadgets like this, just so that the room can interact with it, not just me.
If you're going to show that off, show it off.
Yeah.
Gee, where did you get that?
That's.
So,
Is that what you said that you were going to make him?
What? No, I did make that. Yeah.
Well,
this was made for me by Bill, actually, and it's probably one of my favorite gadgets that I have. But it's because it's simplistic. There's not much to it.
Yeah.
You go out there and you get a feel for the room. You engage with the room. You engage with the people. Too many people put too much stuff into it, really, and it clouds the bigger picture.
Yes,
I fully agree with you, and it's actually painful for me to agree with you, because I mean, I have Empty Casket Paranormal. I make equipment and sell it. I want people to buy the equipment, but when I investigate on my own, I hardly use any. I'll use cat balls. Those are nice to kind of have out on
Those
the
are
edges
Megan's
and stuff.
favorite. Yeah, she loves cat balls.
Throw out a REM pod every now and then, and other than that, like, it's, recorders. Sometimes I'll do the Spirit Box or Necrophonic or something if I want to listen. Estes Method, stuff like that, but I don't use a lot of gadgets.
Hell, and
camera.
A what? A what?
A cheap camera.
Yeah. Oh, cheap. Okay.
That does night vision.
How much was that?
A good camera, so you can take actual photography. And then just normal stuff. I mean, the cat balls Megan likes.
If you don't mind me asking, that night vision camera, how much was it?
This one?
Yeah, the cheaper one you said.
I want to say it was like $40, maybe.
40?
Yeah.
Does it shoot in 1080p?
Yeah.
I am. Granted, this was years ago. I have a 4K camcorder that shoots in night vision too. Granted, I bought it. It's about 70 years old now. Bought mine for $822.
So here's the thing with cameras, especially when it comes to the night vision stuff. You're not paying for the night vision or the camera quality. You're paying for the battery. So I have a $150 night vision camera. Batteries die really fast. The more expensive ones, you're getting a better battery, not a better camera.
That makes sense, because I have one knockoff, because I bought like 6 batteries for my camera to investigate long, which I don't know. At the time, I would record, not record evidence. I would record an investigation for 8 hours straight, and then at the time, have the will and the passion to stare at a mostly nothing happening screen for 8 hours, and I can't do it. Now I did. Now I don't mind to stare at a blank space for 8 hours personally and have that experience, but like have that experience twice, knowing what happened the first time. It's like,
yeah. So I will say this. The difference with the cheaper cameras tends to not only revolve around the batteries, but also with the frames per second when you're rewatching it.
Yeah.
Because when you're rewatching on the cheaper cameras, if you don't have the capability of slowing it down, you tend to run into some heavy pareidolia where there's slight pixelation in the corners as you're moving or as light's changing in the room. And it'd be like, oh my God, did you see that shadow? No, somebody walked off camera with a flashlight and it happened to phase over just enough to trigger the camera to refocus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see,
you gotta watch with that kind of stuff. It can get really tricky trying to avoid the pareidolia, especially with the cheaper cameras.
Yeah.
Hence why we do what we do. This whole thing really revolves around not necessarily proving the paranormal or disproving the paranormal, but the truth behind what's going on. I don't want to go in there and go, I'm going to catch a ghost. I want to go in there and go, I'm going to figure out what's going on. Regardless of whether it's explainable or not, I want to figure out what's going on. We don't treat anything as if it's haunted until it is.
Yeah. And
And
I know
that's really the way it should be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't make that decision. I present evidence to other people and allow them to make that decision, as I did in law enforcement. I arrest. I don't do the formal charging or the filing. I don't do the court case. I don't do the judicial proceedings. That's up to a judge, a jury, and everybody else. My job is to present the evidence of what I found when I encountered them, why I arrested them, and then allow for the public to then make the decision.
Gotcha. Because whenever you go into, because I get you said that you go into it and figure it out.
Mhm.
Whenever you walk in, do you start in what's known to be the most haunted room? Do you walk in and just pick a random spot, hope you get stuff? Or do you walk around, feel what's charged, like what me and Bill did in Fairfield? Do you walk around the whole building and go, okay, I'm in the basement, I'm in the attic, wherever you end up, and go, okay, I remember third floor nurses' quarters seemed heavy. Let's start there. Like, what's your go-to starting point? Or how
So,
to?
in order to answer that a little bit better, I have to key you in on something that goes on with my group.
Okay.
We have rules in our group. No one goes alone,
Okay.
and no one goes without some type of recording device, be it your digital voice recorder, your camera, your own phone, whatever the case, regular camera. It doesn't matter. You have to have something, because we compare everything in my group to law enforcement interactions. That's what we know. I'm not a professional paranormal investigator. I don't really know that I could even consider myself good at it, but I know investigations. I've done interrogations. I've done investigations. I've written reports. I've done follow-ups and all that stuff. So I know how that works. When we go into areas, I tend to, unlike more people, they like to go in. I know Rob actually likes to do this. Go in with no information.
Mm-hmm. Same here.
They don't want to know. They don't want to know anything about the location. They don't want to know anything about anything. I don't agree with that. For me,
Yeah.
I don't see it as a bad thing, but I don't agree with it for me.
Yeah, that's why with me and Tanya, we tend to go in, like I'll learn as much as I can, and she'll go in knowing nothing. So we kind of get the best of both worlds.
Right. I and Jason, my partner, hates this because I do it to him, because he's the one that's he's still full-time at the PD. He's a sergeant currently. But when we go into locations, even my wife, when she goes with me, I will research it until there is nothing left to find and not tell them a single thing.
Gotcha.
And they hate it. But the reason why I do that is so that there's not a nook or cranny of the history of a location that has not been turned over. So that if Megan says she did something in this area and this is what happened, I can hopefully correlate it back to something to then further investigate from there. But in regard to your question, I start from the beginning. I don't like to go to hot spots that are quote unquote, super active. I don't like to go to, basements or attics to start off. I start from the minute I hit the door and then move in what feels right. So when we were doing Cashtown and we hit the basement,
the basement was wild.
The first thing when we came down those stairs, it was like it wasn't heavy, but it was like a wispy, weird feeling.
You kind of felt, you knew you weren't alone when you walked down there.
Right. But as you turned to the left and then turned to the left and went across that little bridge, it got heavier the further back you got.
Mm-hmm.
And so immediately that's where I went.
All right. So I just want to clear something up real quick. For anybody who has not been to Cashtown Inn, the reason that he just talked about going down into the basement and then crossing a bridge is that there is a stream that runs through the basement of Cashtown Inn. So you actually have to walk. Yeah.
Yep.
It's really cool. You actually have to
And
walk
it's
over a bridge to get from the
clear.
front to the back.
It is crystal clear water.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Cashtown is
It
actually where
separates-
Aaron and I met.
Yeah, it separates the old ovens where they used to cook and keep warm for the people that were in the basement, because the basement was used as like a triage area, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah. So Cashtown Inn was used for Lee's staging area leading up to the Battle of Gettysburg. Cashtown Inn is right outside of Gettysburg, for those who don't know. So then during the battle, Cashtown was a field hospital. So they would, bring the wounded there, especially down to the basement. That's where the operating room was. Because they had that stream running through the basement, they could clean everything really easy, and it's crystal clear water.
Yeah.
Okay. I could you drink it?
Yeah.
You can. You're not allowed to. Jeremy won't let you, the owner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But he has had it tested. It's perfectly fine to drink.
There's movement to it. It is clear, but there is movement to it, which would tend to prevent bacteria buildup.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's a natural spring just outside of the Cashtown Inn that flows underneath the inn, and then down. Actually, I think it heads towards Gettysburg, if I remember correctly.
Oh, the water could be a conduit of energy. Yeah, I mean.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hell, and that's why like I'm not. That's why water's my element. Like some people, I've been told that saying that something is my element is like saying that I'm like a witch or something, or a warlock. I don't know if that's true. Couldn't tell you, but when I'm around water, I feel at peace. That's why if I need to meditate, I absolutely meditate. I go down to my riverfront, and it's a conduit is 100% a conduit of energy. And then there's also a theory that I need to research. I don't know a lot about it, but I also hear a theory that spirits can't cross with water. That if they're
that they absolutely can.
Oh, okay. I've heard that if there's an island and spirit is on an island, it's stuck on the island. I'm like, I don't fucking know.
I think that's more to do with the more of the stone tape theory, as well as a lot of other things in regards to what can be haunted and what can't be haunted. And people tend to believe that it's only buildings. Oh, it's only this. Anything from what I've gathered,
absolutely
anything can be haunted, down to a toenail that's stuck in the floorboard.
Yeah. Damien, I'm with you. I'm definitely more of an earth element. When I want to meditate, I climb a mountain.
Yeah. And so, all right. So I guess I just like to be outside then. Same. Because on a mountain, on a riverfront, by a fire.
That's the fire is the ADHD.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So what? I guess just everything is my element then. Outside.
You're the avatar.
Fucking. I'm basically bald. Just paint an arrow on my head. I'm good to go.
But yeah, no. So one of the first investigations we did was actually Pennhurst State School for the Feeble-Minded. That it is not Pennhurst Asylum. Pennhurst Asylum is the company that owns it.
I was thinking it was. I don't know. I was like, oh, Pennhurst Asylum.
I could read it in your face. Yeah, Pennhurst Asylum is the company that owns it. I interrogated people. I got that.
What am I thinking right now?
Horrible things. Pennhurst State School for the Feeble-Minded.
Good.
Pennsylvania pretty much used it as a trash can, which is a terrible thing to say, but that's what they believed at the time. Anybody who was epileptic, narcoleptic, psychotic, even ADHD, Down syndrome, Asperger's, things like that, they would just strap a board on their chest that says "Last stop Pennhurst," throw them on the train, and they shoot on down, and they just take them in.
Gotcha.
Which is part of the reason why Pennhurst was so horrible, was they got overcrowded fast. It's a huge
not only
place and
that.
they're overcrowded.
it's not only that. When you take people with psychosis, genuine psychosis, and you put them amongst a large majority of people who are mentally or physically handicapped, you are dropping a shark into minnow-infested waters. They are predators. And, I mean, of course, not all of them did that, but one is more than enough. Right. And it became a big problem, which is one of the reasons why it was shut down. But
part of the problem with them shutting it down was there was no transition plan. They just flat out closed it and just released everybody.
Yeah.
That's not helpful either.
No. And the reason that was technically the second investigation we did, because we also did twin theaters or something like that in Maryland, right down the road from my wife's, where she grew up. Apparently there was some serial killer there that killed a bunch of people in that area, and then they built a movie theater on top of it. But Pennhurst, when you drive up to it, especially around Halloween, there is a line for 400 or 500 yards as you're driving through the woods towards this old institution. And the feeling, even in the car, is so heavy. It's like it's easily like setting a 60-pound weight on your chest.
Damn.
Yeah, and it's really it's kind of a bittersweet thing, because it's very clear to anyone who can actually feel that when they do their haunted house there every October, the spirits don't like it. However, it's the money that they bring in from that keeps the place from being torn down.
Right. And I will say this. I understand what you were saying, and I agree that they may not like it because there's a lot of people around. However, there is a location, which was the office building that had no patients in it whatsoever. And those are the locations that they use for the actual haunted attractions.
True.
Other than they do have a section of the tunnel that is blocked off for it, and they do go through there, which probably not the best idea. But the patients also weren't supposed to be in the tunnels. Yeah, the patients weren't supposed to be in the tunnels. It's not to say that it didn't happen.
Right.
But at least they're trying to somewhat respect it by not doing those things in those areas where patients were.
Yeah. Now, that being said, you can...
Credit where credit is due.
Yeah. But those spirits they're in that administrative building. I mean, I've investigated it.
Probably.
Too. They're absolutely there.
I wouldn't doubt it. At least we didn't go in the administrative building. I haven't done haunted houses and things like that in a long time, because it's one of the things that's so funny is ADHD tends to make you very paranoid, and I'm sure Trevor understands this.
No,
you're not paranoid. Oh.
No, not one bit.
No anxiety.
Anxiety for like non-ADHD reasons in the past, sure, but like now, I don't have anxiety unless I'm like short on bills for some stupid reason. No.
Okay. Well, I have anxiety. I have paranoia, and then I went to BLET, which made it worse. It's not like dangerous paranoia. Like, I don't think the feds are circling my house with a helicopter or anything.
Right.
But
they're in the woods outside your house.
Right. Yeah. It's not putting my back to a door. Somebody walks in, I immediately, like, I have to visually see them, things like that.
But is that paranoia or your police training?
Both. So they've done a study. When the CIA is looking for assets to put in country and things like that, they want paranoid individuals with like what you would assume would be medical grade paranoia and anxiety, because the amount of situational awareness that comes with that is not something that can be taught. It's just innate. They can teach you how to control it, which is one of the things that we're given a little bit of briefing into with law enforcement as well. You got to lower your heart rate in those stressful situations, do those things like that. But at the same time, it's still there. You're just calmly rolling through the paranoia, the it is what it is moments.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I'm going to go, I'm going to go.
Fair enough. Yeah, I've never really had, like, once again, like anxiety. I haven't felt anxiety in a while, and I mean, not to get, not that my finances is a place to talk about on this podcast or any podcast, but like, haven't been in trouble with that stuff in a while. So like, really, the only anxiety that I feel is
Normal
when
life stuff.
I'm afraid that I let someone down. And like, oh, they're gonna hate me now, or something.
Well, Trevor, you don't have to worry about that with me because you always let me down.
That's fair.
I'll give you this. I'll give you this bit of advice. This was given to me early on. Those that care don't matter, and those that matter don't care.
Fair enough. Yeah. And so anxiety used to stress me out because of bullying and stuff. It's over and done with. Stress. Once again, unless it's like, oh, I have a flat tire on the way to work, then I really don't care. So off that topic, so as far as like paranoia with ADHD and the paranormal, going back to my roots, I guess, and don't judge me for this because this strategy is long gone now. But when I started in the paranormal, Lily, my cousin, she's the one that got me introduced to like spirit box and EVPs and stuff. But she was like, I don't want to tell you your path. You do what you want. Figure everything out, and if you want help, then I'm here. So, as someone who was new to the paranormal and wanted some tips and tricks at the time, back in early 2013. Zach Bacon's. So I literally went into every granted, I say every investigation, the same fucking place for 10 years, Pilot Snob. I went into every single investigation there. This is gonna be embarrassing to talk about, but I really don't care.
Yeah.
Just note to everyone that why is there feedback? Holy shit. Bill, get your shit together.
What'd I do?
There was like feedback from someone. Like I heard myself twice.
I shouldn't have any feedback. I got the headphones.
I don't have headphones, but I haven't.
Testing. That was weird. I don't know what that. Like I heard myself clear as day twice.
Maybe it's the spirits in your house kind of yelling at you.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past them.
Or it's the CIA. They're listening.
Fucking Joe Biden quit on everything, but I'm kidding.
Clear.
I'm kidding. Incognito mode. But thank you, Damien. Thank you, Damien. But anyway, so yeah, back in the day, I used to like. This is gonna be embarrassing to say, but I was 16, 2024, 2000. Yeah, this was 2012, 2013. I was 16, 15, 16. Yeah. And because Lily was older, so I was doing a Pilot Snob on the weekend because she drove me. Not the point. Got there, spirit box in hand. If you're here, make a noise, you motherfucker. Blah blah blah. I want to take off my shirt and make you scratch me. All that dumb shit, right? And then so over the course of years, I actually did get scratched.
You killed Aaron.
Yeah, it's stupid. I'm well aware. I haven't done that shit in God knows how many years. But let me show you one thing. So one night I was doing that exact thing, but not the whole time. So, and this is actually kind of a cool story that I like to tell people. I just don't tell people this extremely elongated version. 2-3 minutes, but still, most people don't want to hear this for 2-3 minutes. So one night, me and my cousin Lily, we were at Pilot Snob, there for a overnight, 7 hours. That was our plan. There for 5 hours, and normal investigating, like what we would do at an event, right? equipment, body, stuff like that. Nothing. Not one feeling, not one response, not nothing. And Lily was like, getting aggravated. I'm tired. I want to go. I'm like, you know what? It was 2 a.m. Fuck yeah. Let's go home. We pack up everything. And then, so I was getting to the point to where, like, I was aggravated. We spent all this time prepping. She had to take off work that, like, we got nothing. So between being angry, pissed, and like, let's see what this will do, I actually did it one more time. I took off my shirt, walked up into the cemetery, and started yelling, "If anything is here, demon or not, I don't care. Scratch me, do it. I can handle it, blah, blah, blah." Right? Get home. Get home. My dad was on vacation. I was in his huge house all by myself. I had my PS3 at the time hooked up in his living room. Was taking a shower in his shower because my shower was small and I didn't like it. Took a shower, scorching hot water, and noticed my arm was really hot. But for some reason, my brain isolated that even though I was in a hot shower. I'm like, you know what? I don't care. Got out, dried off, still hot, but I'm like, screw it. Hour later, gaming, completely dry, cooled down. Hour later, I went to scratch my arm and it burned like a motherfucker. And this happened. I don't know if will focus, but you see that?
Yes.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, my tattoo's now been redone. It's not what it looks like there.
The Zach Baggins special.
Yeah, Zach Baggins special. Yeah, I literally looked down. First time I've ever been scratched, and only the one of two times I've ever actually been scratched. I didn't. I had a cat at the time, so I was like, "Oh shit, my cat scratched me." But I'm like, "Wait, my cat's at my mom's house. I've been at my dad's house for a week. My cat. I haven't seen my cat in a week, and this was fresh. Like there was still like blood scabbing on it." And I'm like, wait a second.
Well, you did ask for it.
Yeah. And I was like, wait a second.
What we call FAFO.
And at that moment, oh, this is cool at the time, stupid now. At that moment, do you know what my reaction was? I said, fuck yeah. I said, fuck yeah. Turned off NBA 2K12 and turned on the Ghost Adventures episode of Poveglia Island.
So I'm gonna steer this towards a really interesting story from Aaron.
Okay.
So one of the things when we do like the public ghost hunts would get haunted.
Oh God.
One of the things that I always throw out there is, you don't want to be like overly aggressive with the spirits. That one Zach Baggins in the world isn't enough. We don't need more of them.
Exactly.
However,
I actually will kick people off of sites for that.
Oh yeah. No, I don't put up with it. However,
or like
caveat to that.
Sorry, but kick people off for like claiming Zach Baggins stuff?
No. So first off, you're in their house.
Oh,
and if you walked into my house and started cussing, if you walked into my house and started cussing me, I'd boot you.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Bill, you can go ahead.
Yeah. So the caveat there is you should stand up for yourself or those with you. So if you're, I don't know, in the basement of White Hill Mansion and your fiance is under the Estes method and they're starting to get very aggressive with her and threatening her, then standing up for her, protecting her, yelling at the spirits is a completely different thing than being aggressive. That's being protective. Mm-hmm. So, Aaron, you have any experience with that?
Oh, shit.
Southern Grace Distillery. So we were at Southern Grace Distillery, and so it was a very dark place. They had what's called a hot box, and I'm sure if you've ever seen any prison movie from the 1960s forward, you've seen a hot box. It's a brick building or something they throw you in there, or a outhouse type deal they throw you in there. This was different. This was an entire brick building with 2 rooms in it that actually had an oven in it. Now, this is Eastern North Carolina. We just had a day the other day that was sitting around 108 without the humidity.
I know how you feel there.
Yeah, and you're talking about putting people in those brick buildings and burning wood in that fireplace to heat the building up even further. You're slow roasting people. It was not a good place.
Poor
However,
long pig.
Yeah, right. However, I was under the assumption that there was only inmates there. Apparently, I was not informed that the former warden was also there. Every time we would get something on voice recording or through the Estes method or something like that, they were talking shit about the warden. So me trying to get more answers would interact with them and be like, hey, why is the warden such a dick? Is it little man syndrome? Is it this? Is it that? Trying to get more conversations. Turns out he's there. My wife is sitting in the chair in the warden's office. The young lady that we're doing Estes with is in the chair in front of the desk, and I'm sitting, again, paranoid, with my back to the wall so I can see my wife and I can see out the door. We're hearing things go off in the cells where it's like, it sounds like somebody hitting bars and whatnot. Yes, we were allowed to go into the oven rooms. That is a legitimate thing. Yeah. You can also go into it's supposed to be a 40-man cell. At one point in time, I think they had like 120 people in there. It's a big open bay, and it's insane. There's a good story about that one too. But before all that, we're sitting there and Megan is asking questions. I'm just being quiet. I'm letting Megan do her thing and letting this young lady do the Estes method. And I had said something earlier that the girl with the Estes method then repeated, and I was like, that's weird. Okay. And then she said, I'm behind you. And I was like, ain't nobody behind me. There's a wall. And so I looked at Megan, who was sitting in the chair with open space behind her, kind of like I have right here. And the girl with the Estes method goes, get out of my seat. And literally, as she says, get out of my seat, Megan stands up and goes, nope, 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 and walks out the room and takes off and goes outside. And I'm like, what the just happened? So I tap the girl real quick. I'm like, hey, we're walking out because I'm not going to leave this poor girl in there. We get up, we leave. I go to Megan. I'm like, what happened? She goes, around the time that she said, I'm behind you, I felt like somebody was behind me. And I brushed it off. I ignored it. And then when she said, get out of my seat, she said she felt two hands come around her neck and start to tighten. And so she got up and left. I went back in there and started running my fucking mouth. I was talking shit. I sat right in that seat and was like, what's up? What's up? You want to put your hands on a woman? I get it. Little man syndrome. What's going on, man? You want to touch somebody? I'm right here. Come on. Running my mouth. I was mad. And it turns out that every man that sat in the office never had a problem. He's attacked 3 different women.
Damn. That reminds me similar, like as far as like getting answers. Do you remember the bouncing back and forth of us at Fairfield whenever we were up at the cemetery and Rob and Sarah were down in the basement?
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, we so in the cemetery.
Let's set the stage. So we had one group of people. That was me, Trevor, and a handful of others up in the cemetery behind Fairfield. And this is the cemetery that belonged to the infirmary. And then you had Rob, Sarah, and I think they had 1 or 2 other people. I forget who. They were inside the infirmary in the morgue, if I remember correctly, doing Estes. And we were talking back and forth over the phone to see if we can get correlation between what they were doing and what we were doing. And so,
yeah,
go ahead, Trevor.
Yeah. So, I just headbutted my mic. Sorry. So yeah. Hey Rob.
I was just about to message you and ask why you haven't been questioning me.
But
I give you so much crap on Wednesdays. I figured you'd be in here giving me crap.
Rob, you came in at a good time because we're about to talk about the cemetery debasement Estes Gansfield at Fairfield. But so
I
yeah.
thought we were talking about Rob's feet picks.
Oh yeah, speaking of that, yeah.
No, don't. I don't want to go off on a tangent. I want to let you get your story.
I was thinking of like a
Focus,
funny.
Trevor.
I'm
Back
better.
to your story.
But so yeah, I'll fast because did anything that I say under Gansfield pay attention to Aaron? Hey, don't forget that after this you have to give him a quote about some vinyl siding. But anyway, so whenever I was under the Gansfield, do you remember if anything like correlated then? Because I think most of it was after I hopped out and and other people went under.
You answered a few questions that we had, but there was no direct correlation between what you were getting and what they were getting down inside the house.
So who went under after me? It was it Dom? No,
I think so. Yeah, no. It was Dom. Dom was after you, and then
someone.
I forget who was next.
Yeah. So Dom was under, and I don't know if this was Dom or the other person, but I remember this happening. So I had out met the group chat for the Fairfield Infirmary stuff, and me and Rob were texting back and forth because while Dom or the other person was under Gansfield, Rob had Sarah under Estes, and we kept getting words like wrist bracelet, shiny bracelets, plural, touch, wrist. It was mainly about wrists and bracelets and jewelry too. And I don't pay attention to Sarah's wrists 24/7. I know she has on some bracelets, but I don't know what they're made out of or any of that stuff, right? I know now, but that's not the point. So I was, I was just spamming in the chat, and Rob, he was seeing just bracelets, wrists, this, that, and the other, and that whole time, or for a period of time, I don't know if it was the whole time, but during that period of time, Rob was watching Sarah blindfolded, touching her wrist, maneuvering her bracelet. I don't know whether it was due to that was what the spirit was wanting her to do, anxiety, I don't know, but the spirit up in the cemetery was telling us what was happening or what Sarah was doing down in the basement. And I'm sure a lot more stuff went down that night too in that moment, but like my brain's not recollecting it to a T, so I don't want to blow smoke up your ass. But that alone was like amazing. But yeah, and Bill, if you have anything to add to that, because that's all I'm can think of. Right
that was a really interesting experiment that we had to cut short because we thought we were going to get the cops called on us because Joe B was the last one to go, and he. So Aaron, you've seen Tanya do the Estes method. She has no volume control when she does that.
Yeah,
Joe B is just as loud, except we were outside and there were houses around, and he's yelling. So we're like, all right, we got to cut this short and go inside.
Stab! Stop.
Hella, at one point, right as we pulled him out, Bill's expression was funny. I don't remember what. No, he described a vision of some sort. I don't remember what the vision was, but that's not the point for this funny aspect, right? As this was like 30 seconds away from being pulled out of Gansfield, Joe screams like it echoed across the woods. He screams, "I saw it happen!" And then he screams something else that adds on to that point, and then Bill just like muddles. I'm taking him out. So he points at me, and I tap on his and I got kick his foot. That's how we were getting to the people out. We were kicking his foot, and he immediately goes from takes off the goggles and goes, "Oh hey guys, that was interesting," and then
Hey, we got international listeners tonight.
Yeah,
We
so
do. I don't. Germany. Okay. Hello, und mein name is Susan. Hello, Susan.
hello,
Is
my
is
name is Susan. She's from Köln, Germany.
Köln? That sounds really cool. Köln. Why does everything in Germany sound cool? Germany, Scotland, UK, Ireland. I know that's all in the general same thing, but like, I wish I could speak German or Irish or something. But anyway,
Was that the same?
Gaelic.
I'm not going down that rabbit hole with you, Trevor.
But
That's
yeah.
that's a conversation for not on the show.
Yeah.
Let's stick with the paranormal.
But yeah, so that was then the Bill had not a conversation, but Bill was like in a moment whenever he took off the Gansfield off of Joe. He has Joe ever seen Tanya do Gansfield?
Oh yeah, yeah.
All right,
we did it at the White Hill Mansion, and Joe was giving her a hard time the whole night for how loud she gets. He can't do that anymore because he's just as bad.
Yeah. And we even did we even like take one muff off of him and be like, hey, a little bit quieter, or no?
No, we didn't.
We didn't. Okay, for some reason I thought we did. But what's up, Chris McDaddy's in the house? How's it going, Chris?
You know, Aaron, it's kind of a shame that Tanya couldn't come down to North Carolina last year and go to the ship with us, because it would have been fun to have her in the ship with her voice echoing through all that metal.
No, I think Tanya would have had a blast in that boiler room.
Oh my god, that boiler room was freaky.
Doing
That was-
Essence one of pre-record questions, lots of them for the shuffle. I've never done that.
It's not something I've done, but it's something that I've thought about doing. The only reason that we haven't done yet is because Tanya doesn't want to be left alone when she's under the Estes.
So instead of having someone else in the room with you to ask questions, you just put a CD player down, hit play. That's a CD player. Shit.
2 recorders. One's recording. One's playing.
Okay.
Then you can go back and listen to what.
Yeah, so the one recorder will play the question. You're doing the Estes method, and you're supposed to put like 60 seconds in between questions or something.
Jesus Christ.
Usually I go with for EVPs, I usually go like 15 to 25, but for Estes, it seems sometimes it take a little longer. So yeah,
Right.
about 45 seconds to a minute.
And then you would supposedly answer the. I've never done Estes. Not been one of my things. I don't like being deprived of my senses in a dark room.
It's his paranoia.
It is. Hey, I will say this. Hold on, because when you and Rob and all of them did that whole hold hands in the center of the fucking room.
Oh my god, that was.
I was the only one that did not participate in that and was standing outside and watching shit move around in the dark and hearing something run up at that door where the guy was like, "Oh, I thought you were coming to let me know." Yes, my mic is on, Robert Stakowitz.
It's Robert Stanko. I'm kidding. But
yeah, no, that was. I was not feeling. I was like, y'all need to stop.
Yeah.
You
So
sound like Cthulhu.
we're in Cashtown. We're in like the main dining room area. We have everybody sit around. We have a metronome going. Everyone's holding hands. We did this like big meditation to kind of bring up the energy and just kind of try to just fill the room with energy to increase the paranormal activity. Aaron didn't participate. He stood off in the back with his camera recording the whole thing. And so things started happening. Shit got weird. Rob decided to call his friends in. And then it got just completely bonkers.
Shit got weird? That is an understatement, sir. So here's the layout. You got a circle of like 25 people. And there is a metronome sitting in the middle, which, by the way,
fucking moved.
No one else saw move until they finally did. I watched that thing move for a solid 30 seconds, and then somebody goes, "Hey, did that move?" No shit.
Yeah.
The door that is directly to my right.
That's what the first A stands for.
Yeah, right. The door that's directly to my right, which is within reaching distance.
Which is just a closet, by the way.
Yeah, just a closet. Starts jiggling, and I'm like, I'm going to move over here now. I go and walk around the other side. Bill is on the opposite side of me, by the way. And he goes, "Why are you standing behind me?" And I was like, who? And he goes, you just walked over here. And I'm like, nope, I'm over here. Haven't gone over there. Oh.
Yeah. So
Okay.
he's dressed in all black. So I just saw something black walk from where he was, or where he was currently standing, to where he was, which was behind me.
I always get
That's
that. People are like,
crazy.
why do you always dress in all black? What are you trying to hide and be stealthy? No, black shows up on night vision better.
It does.
If you're wearing white, it blends in quite nicely, but black will literally, you'll pop immediately. You'll glow.
Yeah.
And everybody that I work with, and most of the people that we've run into, use night vision.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole room got super heavy. Megan was upstairs doing something. She got touched or whatnot.
Yeah, she came running down the steps.
We thought it was them like 5 minutes prior to her actually coming in, because somebody literally came running down the steps and ran into the room, but there was nobody that came in. No one had moved. The guy that was in the hallway to my left, he was sitting there on a chair and was like, I thought like 3 or 4 times y'all were coming to get me because somebody kept walking up to me. I was like, oh, great. So Rob's in here summoning Cthulhu and demons. And I'm the only one with my eyes open looking around going, why are things moving? I don't.
Wasn't Cthulhu on the first ever Black Tea Society shirt?
I don't know if it was the first, but it was one of the first ones.
Yeah.
But
Do you know? Okay, here, just give me. It's like right here. Just give me a second, because I'm gonna show you, and it's also a free promo for the BTS. So
there are enough rumors about me. You eldritch monster.
Like I have a closet for shit right here.
You're an eldritch god, is what you are.
All right. All that right here.
No, you gotta tell them about the engine room on the.
Yeah. So USS North Carolina. We were there last July. Yeah, we went down into the boiler room, the engine room, and it was super heavy. It felt weird. We definitely felt like we were not welcome.
I need that.
And as we're kind of exploring around, doing different things, getting we had REM pods and cat balls and whatnot out. It's getting heavier and heavier and heavier and less welcoming. And then I believe we were looking down. So the floor is a grating. So we're looking down and we're seeing shadows like running around underneath us.
Yep.
We saw a shadow down the far end of the engine room, kind of coming towards us slowly. And yeah, we hit a point where we're just like, yeah, I'm done. Let's just
and you got it's the funniest thing, because you have me, Bill, who's a seasoned investigator, my brother-in-law, who has, I think, going on 14 or 15 years of corrections. He's been in the corrections facilities he's now a lieutenant. And so he's been, 2 o'clock in the morning walking through cell blocks with people who have stabbed people. And immediately me, Bill, and Tommy, my brother-in-law, all looked at each other and were like, we need to go. It's time to go.
Yes.
Because it immediately went from, you're not supposed to be here, to, I'm going to make you leave.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's been several places that I've gone where I walk in and I just like, I'm not supposed to be here. There's a few places I've been where I'm like, I know I don't belong here. They don't want me here. That place, like you said, went from we don't belong here to get the fuck out of here.
Yep.
Yeah. So there was another place towards the officers' mess where, and they do this on most of your larger ships, is that they separate the Marines from the Navy personnel. So in the officer's mess, you have to go through it to get to the Marine cabins on the USS North Carolina. And I was standing half in the doorway, half out of the doorway. And it was like the entire side of my face that was in that hallway. It felt like my dad looking down at me going, what are you doing? And I was just like, I'm not supposed to be over here. Like it was imposing. It wasn't threatening. And then we went downstairs and that was
threatening. Yeah.
That was, you're either going to leave or I'm going to make you leave. And I was like, Roger, I'm out.
Yeah, I've had a couple places that I didn't feel invited, but the only ever, and this is odd to say because we still don't get anything to this day, is that Pilot Snob, Spirit Box is rarely active, EVP somewhat active. It's mainly just a feel with your body type deal. And the only ever, or one of the only ever responses that I ever got on the SP7 at Pilot Snob was allowed get out, and that was whenever one night where we have a Dehoot later. We love you. Thank you for stopping by. The squirrel is out, but but yeah. So
Yeah, Damien. So usually places that I don't feel welcome. That's usually where I want to be because that's where you're going to get evidence. Sometimes it's a little bit much, and I can't. Fairfield, that one room down that hallway on the first floor.
Yes. Yeah. So okay. So
I walked down that hallway by myself because I felt something down there when we did the tour, and I got about halfway down that hallway, and there was just a whole lot of nope. And I'm like, yeah, no, I can't do that. So then I walk out. Lori and Kaylee are there giving me shit for pussying out, and they're like, do you want us to walk down with you? I'm like, yeah, you know what? I do. So the three of us start walking down, and a bat comes out of nowhere, scares the shit out of the two of them.
Hell, and the funny thing,
that's right up there with the shadow in Pinhurst.
The funny thing is about that, that same room. We can skip over my story. Pilot Snob. It's not that big of a story, but that same room at Fairfield, we walked in with Lori and Kaylee. We all walked into the very last room on the left. You felt heaviness, and I felt nothing. And then there are two rooms side by side. Yeah, we had two rooms side by side that were conjoining by a doorway. We all walk into the next room all together. Beal feels nothing. I feel everything. It flips within 10 feet.
The weird thing about that is we took a couple guests down there later that night. They were underneath the Gansfield experiment. And Trevor, you left. I think you went to go talk to somebody about something.
Yeah.
So I was getting concerned in there. I was having an Aaron moment where I didn't want to stand near the doors. So I walked through the door into the hallway and just kind of looked down it, and I watched this shadow start working its way down the hallway, like pressed up against the wall, like it was trying to not be seen. And like, yeah, I can't watch this. And I went and stood in the corner of the room.
Oh, this asshole, when we're in the basement, I went into the room that's directly behind the stairwell on my own.
Oh,
no
this
problem.
is Cashtown, right?
Yeah, easy day. I'm sitting on a little chair with my back not pressed up against the wall, but in the corner. And he goes, huh. And I was like, what? I thought I just saw something behind me. I was like, okay, great.
You can use vape smoke where allowed to see if you can get smoke manifestation. I vaping.
Never tried it.
Vaping. I've tried vape once. It was a friend's vape, and I had a coughing fit so bad that I had a asthma attack. So I'm not doing that again.
I had a sergeant tell me early on in my career to pick two vices. That's it. You get two. One's good for you. One's bad for you. And so tobacco became my vice because alcohol was not going to be it. Alcohol is going to kill me. It's poison. And so I dipped for a long time. I stopped dipping, went to vaping. Had a pulmonary issue last year with some serious like pneumonia crap. And so I went back to dipping a little bit. And I do both interchangeably, just not as often. And my other vice is cooking. If something really bad happened at work, you can typically tell because I'll have like a 7-course meal made before you wake up.
He is a good cook.
Yeah. My vices. I mean, I drink alcohol, but it's recreational. It's like on the weekend. I don't drink in the week. Mainly because, and this won't be a rant because I don't want to talk about it, but one person in my family, um, um, heavy alcoholic. That's all I'll say. And my dad said it's in my genes. So if you lose control, it's possible. So I allow myself to have 3 at most, Saturday and Sunday only. So, and
I
I'm
don't have
not.
a problem with drinking. I really don't.
I don't either. It's just with my not genetics, with my addictive personality. It's very easily to get it if I try. But I've never tried. I've been in a bad spot once during a breakup years ago, but that's neither here or there. But yeah, but my good vice is music. And not just like listening. Like I will actually it's mainly Avenged Sevenfold where like I will actually
Could have put my finger on that one.
I I will go back and watch old live concerts of Avenged, memorize the physical movements and hand movements that the lead singer does. So whenever I listen to like the songs just like on Spotify, I'll copy him the best that I can.
Just rocking the air guitar.
Yeah, like just like rocking, like putting my hands in the air, singing with like a fake mic. Like that looks bad, but singing with like a fake mic and like pumping my fist in the air and shit. Yeah,
I go with the real guitar.
Yeah, hell yeah. He has a Ouija board.
You know what? I'm not cool enough to play the real guitar. I don't know how. I go to the gym and touch grass. Okay.
Why do you go to the gym to touch grass?
But why you go? Yeah.
Are you just go? Oh, I get it. You go to the gym, you bend over. I got it.
That's
hey, no. But yeah, like so one of the old things that the lead singer of the band used to do is like pump his fist, like he used to the beat. So like if it's like a Saturday night and I have all my lights on and like the lights are shining through the curtains, my neighbors are seeing me just in the middle of the room just going.
Looks like you're skiing with 2 dudes.
Yeah, but so yeah, that's music is my vice, but I think we need to start wrapping this this investigative paranormal police session now.
You made me really concerned there for a moment because you're talking about music being your vice, and the next thing you said was we've got to start rapping.
No, I'm kidding. These week arms were heavy. Aaron's sweaty because he's anxious already. He's nervous.
Something and something, mom spaghetti.
Way to go, artificial vanilla icy.
He's vanilla frozen yogurt.
I hate yogurt. I'm vanilla pudding.
He's Skittles because we can't call him M&M.
If I had his money, I would.
Next location you're going to. I've been trying to get Bill,
my bedroom,
Sarah, and everybody else to get up with me in regards to going to St. Albans because everybody had such a hard time getting a hold of the lady because they were trying to go through the internet when in reality she's a 70-year-old woman. Call her. Got a hold of her the first time.
No, that reminds me, and it's like speaking of older, don't like the technology and stuff. I have a friend. He's also Johanna Mark. Two Brothers Extreme. They know it's someone who's in like the paranormal field. I don't know what she does exactly. I forget. He talked about her once, but she hosts events and how she takes events. She's well known in the area, so people will keep coming back in the area. But the only way she takes events is if you have her number by phone, and she takes the event plans down on a piece of paper and a notepad. Yeah. So yeah, it's the same deal. But yeah. So
all right. So next locations. My next one is I'm going to be at the Shanley Hotel for Get Haunted's Paranormal Slumber Party on August 3rd. And then the following weekend, I'll be at the Scranton Cultural Center getting a chance to investigate the Masonic Temple there.
I wish I could go to the sleepover, but I just can't. But I hope you guys have fun. I will have the FOMO, but it'll be okay. The next place that I'll be at, let's see, August. Nothing paranormal. I have some events planned, but they're not paranormal. They're with friends and stuff. What's after August? September. September.
Usually.
Always.
September. ISS got canceled, which is fine. I get it. When is it Madison Seminary for Get Haunted?
October, I think.
October. I think it's October 5th. Yeah.
I think so.
I've been avoiding seminaries like the plague because I have a stupid fear. I'm afraid of nuns.
Oh, that's what that is. Fuck yeah, I love it even more.
Genuinely terrified of nuns, thanks to Catholic school.
So yes, as far as paranormal goes for the rest of the year,
I wasn't an altar boy, Bill.
No, I'm just thinking of ways I can scare the crap out of you. It's okay.
I'll hurt you.
Scare you from a distance.
This is one thing
Better make it a long distance.
This is one thing that I can sing, and not in the way you may think. That freaks people the fuck out. I don't know why I have this somewhat ability to do this somewhat okay, but it kind of amplifies my ability if there's echoey rooms that's extremely dark and you don't know what's gonna happen. But tiptoe by the window, and the next thing you know, you just hear.
And the next thing you know, you wake up in the ICU going,
exactly. So Madison Seminary, I'm going to the soiree, and if anything else pops up, I'm going to
don't do it.
I'm going to the Rock Island Paracon too. As well. So Rock Island, Madison Seminary, and soiree. Yeah.
I do want to get out to where did you guys do the boys versus girls thing?
Old hospital.
Yeah, that place.
Old hospital. Yeah, I want to go there. I find this hard to say because it's one of those things that we talk about in the paranormal that you really need to watch it with certain things. I want to go back to Pennhurst. I feel like I have to go back to Pennhurst.
Hey, if you go to Pennhurst, let me know. That's only 2 hours from me.
Yeah, it's one of those things where there was just so much left on the table. That shadow figure on the third floor, the little girl in the playground. There was a lot left on the table, and it feels unresolved. It genuinely does, and it's never going to be resolved for them, but.
Oh yeah, I didn't. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, it's one of those things that so in regards to that, when we talk about things in the paranormal, there's the emotional transference.
Mm-hmm.
I think me and Bill have talked about this before, but it's not something that I didn't tend to believe in it, thanks to the whole Zach Bagans thing, where he's like, I just feel so sad because the spirit feels sad and it's making me sad. Grrr! Yeah, no. I thought it was BS. I did.
Just the way you presented it, it was funny.
There was an instance on the playground with a little girl, and I had looked up into the Devon building, and the bottom 3 windows on the right side are busted out, and you could see in them because of light that was coming in from one of the stoplights. And I looked up and I saw a shadow standing in the window. And then over the spirit box thing, it said, they killed me. I have never been so mad. And my wife has the recording of it where she's video recording everything that's going on. And I went from, because I was trying to be nice to the little girl, like I was talking to her, I was trying to be, God, I will fight you. I will fight you. It is on site. On site.
They send me that link to that file, Bill.
But I looked up and I saw that shadow figure, and my wife's on the recording is recording me. And prior to that, I was essentially talking to this little girl spirit like I talked to my daughter. You know, you don't need to be scared. You stand behind me. I had one of these on my backpack, I always have a sling bag on, and it kept getting pulled on away from my body, like she was grabbing onto it and pulling it. And so she, at one point in time, was holding my hand, and Megan went to reach down because my hand was like, I think when we hit it with the thermometer, it was like 55 degrees or something. And I was like, oh, well, it's cold outside because it's October in, Pennsylvania. And then finally it dawned on me, yeah, my hand still shouldn't be 55 degrees. But she reached down to touch it. She got slapped. Her hand got slapped away from me. But during that course of question and answer, it said they killed me. And I looked up right about that time and saw that shadow, and immediately just blind rage. I was furious. And I started cussing the shadow and calling it every name but a white boy, telling it to come out. I went full Zach Bagans mode for a minute. I was angry.
Yeah, it's weird when those emotions just kind of come out of nowhere. Oh Jesus.
That one's so much worse.
No, I made it very
Why
quickly.
is that one so much worse? That's worse than Rob's.
I made it in literally 10 seconds. Don't believe me. Wait, what happened to the cemetery in the background?
I just want you guys to understand,
Wait,
I do have a degree in cyber forensics.
Oh, I forgot that I erased part of the picture for the thumbnail. Now it just looks like shit. Okay.
I will frag your computer, I swear to God.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so Damien, that's one of the things that I kind of came to understand. I thought it was BS because, TV show drama, let's make it good for camera.
Yeah.
That day I found out it is not BS. It is a genuine reaction.
The night that Get Haunted got launched, we were at Selma Mansion, and Tanya stopped off, and we were investigating the third floor. We're walking back down. She stopped to go to the only working bathroom in the room or in the place, and right next to it was the Rose Room. And while I was waiting for her, I just walked into the Rose Room, and as soon as I walked in there, I started crying for absolutely no reason. Like, I just got hit with this overwhelming sadness. I started crying. She came out and said, "What the hell is wrong with you?" I'm like, "I need to get out of the building." I felt fine. As soon as I left the building, I felt fine.
Yeah, I haven't had that instance. I've had sickness. I've had like instant onset migraine. Like immediate, like out of nowhere, just piercing headache. And that instance with the anger, because it lasted for about 30 seconds. And then when I turned around and was talking, when I turned back around and I saw my wife, I was good. I was 100% good. And I didn't even realize that I'd been that loud. I knew I was yelling at the window in the direction of the shadow, but I didn't realize that I was like yelling.
The only time I've never cried at a location, even though I kind of want to, just for the emotional transference. But the only time I've actually ever had like something with my head hurt was I got a migraine immediately at MSP. It was like the second or third time that I went. This was before Get
What's
Haunted.
MSP?
Missouri State Penitentiary. The bloodiest 47 acres west of the.
Yeah, I know what it is. When you went in there, and this is a genuine question. When you went in there, were you hesitant in certain areas?
The first time, yes.
Okay, so from the law enforcement side of things, what I want to tell you, and this is what I told my wife, this is what I told Tommy, my brother-in-law, Jason, my partner, all of them, when we were talking about Southern Grace Distillery, because it is the old prison.
Mm-hmm. When
you're dealing with inmates, alive or dead, you cannot show hesitancy. They will pick you out of a crowd and you become prey.
So to quick stories. I've told them 1,000 times, so I know how to like cut out certain parts that really aren't the biggest deal. So, well, to end up to, because I'm training myself to do this in my head. So to finish off the story that I was just telling, down in the dungeon, there are isolation cells that are like 10 feet by 10 feet wide. Doing an investigation there one night, and was about to leave. It was me and someone else in there, and they left, and I forgot to pick up a recorder or something. So I'm like, oh shit, I gotta go get that. Pick it up, went to walk out, and as soon as because there's like a little half a foot lip where the floor is, so you got to step to get out of the cell. My leg went through fine. Went to like push the top part of my body through, and it's like something. It didn't. I didn't feel it the whole time, but it's like someone's hand just like palm fisted my forehead, and I kind of like went back, and I immediate my migraine, and like had to like pull my leg back and get back in the cell and like not hunker down, but like get on like lean on my knees, and I was disoriented. Like a minute later, I finally walked through. I'm like, what the fuck was that? It felt like an imaginary wall was there. And then my experience of seeing Big Boy, if you've heard of him, the spirit that you see in Death Row, and basically the whole. I'm sure they've seen him in other places too. But one night was doing an investigation there. Was hosting a event because that does make sense in the context. We had guests in Death Row, guests down in 3D. On top of each other, different levels. Stairs that lead up from 3D up to Death Row. I looked over to my right. I was about halfway down the death row on the front left side. Saw this large 6'5" man, overalls, flashlight, boots, come up the stairs and walk down the hallway. I'm like, shit, a guest got away from the group. They're going to contaminate other investigators. I told my coworker, I guess at the time, hey, be right back. Fast walked as quietly as I could to go find him. Nothing. Jenny and another employee of MSP come over, asked me what happened. I told them, and everything that I described. They looked at me and go, "Yeah, that's Big Boy." And now I want to get a tattoo of that on my arm, but that's not the point. But yeah.
But yeah, the whole prison thing. A lot of people investigate prisons and they end up talking about getting scratched or getting hurt or stuff following home and stuff like that. Having been in that world physically alive,
mm-hmm.
if you turn your back on them or you show the slightest bit of weakness or cowtail or whatnot, you don't stand your ground, you become a target. And it's that way. It's that way. I have to imagine, based on what I've seen in Southern Grace and stuff like that, it's the same way in Death.
Oh yeah, when we do Mid-Orange Correctional. What?
Do you hear my cat in the background?
No.
Okay, good, because he's screaming. He's fine though.
When we do Mid-Orange Correctional Facility, there's a few spirits there that like to intimidate.
Yep.
They don't get physically abusive, but they will make you feel like scared.
Yeah, we
the one does not like me because I'm not intimidated by him. Like he tries and I stand up to him every time and then he just kind of backs down.
Yeah, we ran into something like that at Southern Grace. They were doing so the high risk inmates are in that same area with the warden's office. And there's like 7 cells. And they were in the first cell and they were having a conversation with something in the last cell. And every time they would go to walk down to that cell, the girl doing the Estes method would scream out, "Get the fuck away from my cell. Go away. Stop coming over here." So when we came in, I walked in the room with them and was like, "Hey, what's going on?" And they were like, "Yeah, somebody down in the last cell keeps talking shit." And I was like, "Bet. What are they saying? Get the fuck out of my cell." Cool. So I walked out and directly walked into that cell and stood in the doorway and was like, "What's up?" And immediately it was, and I could feel what felt like breath on my face. And then she's in the last cell and I hear her yelling, "Who the fuck are you? Get out of my cell." And I was like, "Nah, homie. This is my cell now. And I stood there in the doorway. Granted, my sphincter was completely tightened because that thing came in my face quickly. Like it went from there was nothing there to something nose to nose with me almost immediately. And I was like, this is a bad idea. But again, having dealt with individuals, you can kind of tell who's actually going to fight and who's not in the real world. And people that like to puff their chest and peacock tend to be the ones that don't really want the smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
usually it's
when
the quiet ones you got to watch out for.
With being police, do you act as a trigger in cell investigations? I have to say yes.
That's why I want to bring you to Mid-Orange.
That's why I want to bring you to Missouri State Penitentiary too.
So I've had instances in a lot of different areas. We're actually looking at investigating it's the company that made these. They're local in Richlands, and their building used to be the old movie theater that was it's still got the segregated seating. That's how old this building is. And so we've been looking to do that, but I've been to a lot of different places and I've never had many interactions that were negative. When I walked in to Southern Grace, immediately it was like every other rotation of something or every place I went, something was coming at me, coming towards me, messing with us. We saw something. So when you walk into the big open bay area, there's a cage that covers the door. So when you walk in, you're in a cell. You have to open the cell to get into the actual bays where they sleep. And we were sitting there with the laser grid, watched one of the laser lights go out and then come back on. So we went down to see what was going on. As we turned around, the girls are all standing in the cage, and me and another investigator looked up, and there is a person in a crouched position like they're fucking Batman on top of the cage, looking at us.
And before we go any further, I would just like to point out we have about 10 more minutes before we cross over to another show on the Get Haunted Network. So I just wanted to let you guys know that by at least they technically start at 10:05 because it's like radio scheduling, but at 10 o'clock Central, 11 Eastern. Let's
yeah, no, you're good. Yep. But that is what I was saying is I tend when I do things that are more law-oriented investigations and things like that, I tend to get much more, and it could just be the badge, honestly, because we wear our gear and the way that we're dressed. Because, I wear 511s. I have my duty belt on that I keep all of the regular equipment in so I can quickly grab it. It could be that. I don't know, but I will say that going into areas, and again, you also have the presence. You use that to your advantage at Cash Town, Bill.
Yeah, I did.
So I mean,
that
could be
awesome.
A number of things. I don't know, but I will say yes in regards to certain investigations in certain places.
Yeah, so
they seem to like me.
Yeah, so in Cash Town, we were down in the basement, and I had Aaron start yelling at the spirits, not like yelling at them, but kind of like a drill sergeant kind of yelling, giving orders, because it says it was used for a military hospital. You have the military there, and with his police training, I figure he knows how to yell at them, how to give the orders. And so he started doing that, telling the soldiers to step up, touch this, tell us what's ailing you, then move on. And we were getting a lot of
see this nurse.
Yeah.
And it was, the atmosphere changed. It went from heavy and hectic to
orderly.
Yeah. Legitimately, it felt like I was standing in the DMV. Like there's still a lot around you,
but
everybody's in a line.
Yeah. And like things were going off, like you tell them to go into one room and then something would go off in that room. And like, it was pretty cool. And that's something I've seen at Gettysburg a lot. People who go in when they know how to do it, giving orders will get results.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be definitely down to go to Mid-Orange and MSP. It's one of those things that it's either going to turn into a raging shit show because they're going to absolutely despise me, or it's going to be awkwardly like compliant, I guess is the best way to say it. Like, hey, go touch that. Dude, thank you. Stop touching it.
Yeah, so we had an interesting situation at Penhurst because Tanya works with people who have mental disabilities, and like, she helps take care of them. And the whole time we were at Penhurst, whenever Tanya was around, with the exception of one really wild Estes method, you could kind of feel that there were people around,
Like
but they were
gravitating towards her.
no staying away from her. Like they were off in the distance, they were watching, but they would not answer her. They would, if she was there, nothing happened. She walked away, things would start happening. It's like they were afraid of her.
So that's how it happened in the Bay. Yeah, when we were in the Bay in Southern Grace, the big open bay, it would, whatever the thing he said, it sounds like a crawler. Things like, none of it would come near me. If I went where it was, something else far away would trigger. We had cat balls, we had REM pods, we had everything going up. And when the laser disappeared, I went over. The REM pod on the other end of the hallway lit up, and then we saw the thing on the roof. When I went back over there to look up, it was gone, and the REM pod at the other end that I was just at went off. Like, it did not want to be near me.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
So I know we're running low on
Yes.
time. I just want to give one really like crazy prison story. So prior to Get Haunted, I was working for another company. We did an event at Crescent Sanatorium, which was at one point the most violent prison in Pennsylvania. And the place is huge. I never got to explore the whole thing. At one point, one of our guests came up looking for me, and they said, "We have this picture that you need to see." So they showed me a picture of me.
Doppelganger.
It was the same shirt, same hat I was wearing, the long beard. It was me. And I'm like, "Where the hell did you take this picture?" And I said, "Oh, it was that building over there." I'm like, "I've never been in that building. To this day, I've never been in that building." But they had a picture of me in that building. And Crescent is known for having a mimic.
Doppelgangers, yeah. I've heard a lot of things about them. I've never seen one. Oh, I'd be hard pressed to say I've never seen one, but I don't think I've ever seen one.
That's one of my
Tanya has.
That's one of my nightmares. Like, not like in person.
Meeting yourself?
Yes. I've had.
You're not supposed to meet your own doppelganger. People have seen me in so many places. Battlefield Bash 2 years ago. Somebody, I forget who it was. I showed up like, "Dude, we've been trying to get a hold of you all day. You keep walking around and you won't say hi to us." I'm like, "Dude, I got here like 2 minutes ago." He goes, "No, we've been seeing you for hours." I'm like, "Hours ago, I wasn't even in Gettysburg, dude." I got a call from Danny one night, and she goes, "Hey, what are you doing in Bethlehem?" I'm like, "I'm not in Bethlehem. I'm home." She goes, "I just saw you at Wawa." Kid, no, you didn't. But there's like tons of investigations. People swear they see me in places that I'm not at. Happens all the time. It's weird.
I with my, and I'm not even sure if this is ADHD. I don't know. I have insomnia. That has nothing to do with ADHD though. Whenever I fall asleep, I have a hard time falling asleep. But when I'm asleep, I am out, and I lucid dream almost every other night. And there is one lucid dream that I have that's literally 10 seconds long. It's a nightmare. But I wake up every time after I have it. The last time I had it was probably last week, actually, I think. I literally dead asleep. I see blackness. And the next thing you know, it zooms out to where you can see like a little bit of my head, but that's it. But then out in the distance, you hear like walking. It zooms back in, and the next thing you know, you're walking. Then right as you see a silhouette of someone, it like gets drugged in within seconds to the point where it's like this, face to face, and it's me looking at me, and all of my other. The only thing that the other me does is it just goes. and then I wake up.
Yeah,
That's the
terrifying.
same creepy look you have in our intro video. Right before
Yeah.
you show me up tied up in chains.
But it begs the question, with the whole doppelgangers in weird places and things like that.
That is a question for DD.
There has to be some kind of communication.
Yeah. Quickly,
Yeah.
Damien, in the Get Haunted Network, or type in DD Jabrail, DeeDeeJebrail. She is a dream interpreter. Great friend, great person. She has spent a lot of her life just dream interpreting, research on dreams. That's a question for her.
Yeah, Dee Dee's awesome. She'll help you out.
But yeah. But I think we should wrap this up soon because we still have a lot of time for shout outs and promos and shit. But before we hop into that, I would just like to, long story short, for one last time, if anyone's going to be watching this after the fact, just came in, or like a recap. If you see me in person on a stream, just know that I am training myself to be not as hyperactive for reasons I've already said. I'll be making a video about it on my YouTube to explain how the change will affect my content. Just know that if anyone's out there, no, I am not sad. No, I'm not depressed. Because I'm sure I'll look more solemn sometimes, for the most part. But just know I'm okay. I'm training myself to not be as fucking annoying, being bluntly. But
you did good tonight, man.
You did.
Yeah, I did this, so
you made my job easy.
yeah. So yeah, I whenever I'm solemn, whenever you see me in person, I go from solemn to extremely hyperactive. Say for example, I go from 10% to 80 or 90% within minutes. From here on out, I probably will be going from 10% to maybe 30 or 50. I will still have a hyper side. It just won't be annoying, uncomfortable at sometimes, and intrusive.
Don't blame yourself. It took me
No,
years to get
it's
where I'm at.
yeah. I've noticed some things and working on it. It's going to be a quick transition because for some things in life, transitioning takes months. But when it comes to hyperactiveness, if you don't fix it soon, you're not going to be. It's not going to really train your body easily. It's just it's how if it was a physical aspect, training muscles be different. But when it's mental, it's a different story. But yeah. So without further ado, I got some banners that I made while we were waiting. So Aaron, who are you? Why are you paranoid? And tell us what you do for a living.
What I do for a living. Other than running the paranormal police and everything to do with the social medias and stuff like that, I also coach high school wrestling. I am the head coach for the girls wrestling team. They separated about 2 years ago from the boys team officially, so now it's a whole thing.
I was joking about your job. If you don't want to get that personal,
I don't care.
Okay.
Paranormal police investigations. We try to do things similar to how I would have operated on the road, which is no one's broken the law until they've broken the law, right? You go in, you investigate, then you present what you found to other bodies, to have them make the ultimate decision as to whether or not it is or it isn't. That being said, there are instances that we treat similar to shots fired calls. I'm sure you guys have seen a video of police reacting to some type of shooting.
Yep.
They're not going in there to ask questions and find answers. They're going in there to do their job. So places like Pennhurst, for instance, Mid-Orange, all these places where it's so well documented and so well known, you literally go in there and you throw everything at the wall and see what can stick. You try to find as much as you can. You try to cover as much ground as you can, and you're trying to catch that glimpse of the other side. I tend to write up all of the investigations post-investigation as actual police reports. So anybody would be able to, if Bill wanted the report from the USS North Carolina, I'd send it to him and he could go through it. And if Bill was a part of Paranormal Police and I was writing the main one, I would have him do a separate report as well and send it to me to add to that, because perspective is everything. What I saw is not necessarily what he saw. So we do try to stay as close and true to the spirit of police investigations, because there's a reason why regular people aren't going out investigating murders. There is a tried and true technique to doing this that, when followed properly, tends to work.
Speaking of regular people, I know this is random. I'm not going to talk because I don't want to run anything if you want to see it and have it. The show Elementary. Have you seen it?
I have.
Great show. Love it. But anyway, that's
But other than that, man. It's
okay, Bill, have you Bill?
No, I saw it. I'm confused as to what your point was.
Because Sherlock Holmes is a detective. His brain went to investigations, then to detective, then to Sherlock Holmes.
Well, that, and also Sherlock Holmes isn't getting paid nor actually works with them. They are technically civilians, or
he does get paid.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
he's a.
You'd have to read the books.
Yeah.
Wait, Elementary is actually a book?
No. So Elementary is based on Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes.
Oh,
is a book.
Yeah.
On the Baskervilles.
Well, there's so many like different renditions of Sherlock through TV shows and movies. It's
Correct.
like it's hard to keep up. I like Johnny L. Miller like as an actor. That's why I was so attracted to Elementary. But that's
RDJ did a good job at Sherlock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we also have Bill in the Casket talking board. What do you do?
I do ghost stuff. So
nice. Okay, now my turn. I'm kidding.
You do ghost stuff?
Yeah.
Do you wear protection?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yes.
Sometimes
in the specters.
Sometimes he makes the stuff and doesn't actually do the stuff.
That's true. Yeah. So emptycasketparanormal.com. I do make and sell equipment. Aaron has some of my equipment. So if you want something custom made, hit me up. I can help you out with that. We also have the Empty Casket Talking Board Museum. We travel around with that, teaching people the history of spiritualism, history of the Ouija board, and the proper way to use it. Trying to dispel some of the myths and superstition associated with it.
He's been trying to dispel the myth with me for a while now.
Yes.
And
he's stubborn.
And if any of you out there would, Bill, are you at the point of like you're making people boards and selling them to people yet?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
If you are wanting a talking board that is custom made from Bill that looks all cool, and how do you describe your boards? I don't want to describe your boards for you.
That would be the only one I would own ever. And it would go into a lead line box. I'm just throwing it out there.
If you want a board from Bill, he makes them in multiple ways. They are dope. They are cool. He made one for me. This is an inverted camera. Fucking hell. There we go. The camera's inverted. There we go. Or if you want a talking board from me, like Bill has behind him, I make it from scratch with hand. I hand paint it. Hit me up. And we'll talk about it. Other than that, you can find me there. If you're watching this on YouTube, you already have my YouTube link. Oh shit! There's
the Haunted Faith board that I made for Trevor.
Hell yeah!
Nice.
Hell yeah!
Thank you.
And mine's hand.
Why?
Mine's hand painted. You know those children drawings you see in like in Insidious or horror movies where like they hand paint them with like paint or like scratchy crayon. That gives the vibe of mine. So yeah. So
such a human skin Ouija board. God.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. The Ed Gein board.
So I had this idea. What if Ed Gein made a Ouija board?
Yes, everyone wonders that.
So
everyone.
So I don't have a picture of it, and it's in the other room
Why?
on the other side of the house. It's
Get-
not
get-
human skin. It is just like cow rawhide. But yeah, the it's strung up in a brace. It's all the letters are carved in, and then I put fake blood in there, so it's dripping out. It's
Give me one
kinda
second.
sick.
I found it.
That is terrifying.
Well, here.
I did look into getting human skin to do it, but that's crazy expensive.
It's a for 1 inch by 1 inch piece of skin,
$75.
$75 to $100. Yeah.
I'm good. I don't want that. I don't want it. I don't want it.
That's okay. It's not for you.
I wasn't
And
ready.
if anybody's curious about what I do, but as we end this, I am a all-around creator. Slowly but surely, I do this. Bill's the main part of this, but I do this. I do paranormal vlogs to where if I go on a road trip and do some paranormal shit, I film the whole thing and upload it to this fucking site called YouTube. And it's not investigation based, it is the whole round trip based. You get me in the car to maybe do another shit. I also
Just
do
if you
time.
get Trevor in the car, make sure you wear protection.
Jesus fucking Christ. And I also do
Seatbelt's there for a reason.
I also film my Ouija board stuff. I do time lapses of that. I do I'll soon be starting up a new series called My Dark World. That information about that will be coming soon. That's all I really got, or else I'm gonna be rambling about shit.
OnlyFans.
I haven't only what was
Only
the
hands.
no what was the paranormal one that we made a joke about? Only shit. Only it rhymed with yeah, what was the paranormal one we made jokes about all the time? Only
Only ghosts? No, it wasn't only ghosts.
no,
It was-
that isn't.
I forget what we were calling it.
Only
It's okay. Bill forgets a lot of his
Fuck.
things. We were supposed to start a podcast
no.
as well.
This is important. We got to think about this. Only. Wait, you two.
And Trevor's gone.
Okay. Now we were supposed to start that podcast too. The
Yeah,
what
we
was
were.
the
Wraith Chasers.
Wraith Report.
Or Wraith Report. Yeah.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like a news organization for the paranormal.
Mhm.
I don't know. I'll figure it out and DM you, Aaron, and then we can team up on a collab on something.
That
I love that idea.
With
What?
OnlyFans.
No, Damien's idea.
Oh wait, what? In a prison room, draw a Ouija board on the floor and chalk and grab chairs on wheels. Oh,
Why?
shit. Aaron, me,
I love
you,
that idea.
and if me, you, and Aaron all do it at the same time, we can expedite the communication. Like no,
So because Aaron's a friend, he stands outside the room and films it.
okay. Or I do, and Aaron gets over his paranoia.
I will
and then-
agree to be there. I'll agree to be there. That's fine. But
All right,
no,
everyone.
so that's an idea that you need to talk to Rob about.
Yeah.
Just a
Instead of human pendulum,
weekly update as a news station with
instead of human,
you and Sarah, or you and him.
instead of human pendulum, it's human planchette.
Yeah, so that's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Is you draw a large Ouija
Yeah.
board on the floor in chalk, and then the chair on wheels becomes the planchette with, I guess,
Yeah.
whoever is the whoever gets to be the Roomba. I don't know.
But on that note, we are about to run
love
into
that. I love that
Greg
idea.
Bakken. Thank you all so much for joining us. Steven,
Thank you, Aaron, for
Rob.
being on.
Yes, Aaron. Thank you so much.
Always a pleasure, guys.
You're going to be on again at some point.
Yeah,
Damien,
man, whenever you guys want.
Damien the Demon. Thank you, Steven, Rob, everyone that joined. Kaylee, Susan, everyone. Thank you, Wade. Thank you so much for joining. Aaron, thank you for being you. I don't know what else to say.
I can only be me. I don't know how to be Rob yet. So
Yeah, that's fair.
That might be for the benefit.
I'm Haunted Faith, and Bill, you're,
I am Empty Casket.
and Aaron, you're cool. I'm not kidding.
Paranormal police.
Okay.
I exist. That's what I am.
On that note, I'm gonna send you guys out on the Supernatural soiree video, and then actually, if I do that, I'm gonna overlap the next show, so I'm not. I just thought about that. We went a bit long. I don't want to do that, so we're just gonna leave. Thank you all. We'll talk to you later, and
Have a good
sleep
night.
safe.